Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we're taking a look at a place that is near and dear to my heart, Dante's Den Foundation. When people come here, they get that peace of mind. And that's what we do. That's what my staff does, my manager does, everybody does. We give you peace of mind, and we walk the walk. Dr. Tracy is teaching us all about symbiotic relationships and how these fish are actually doing something good for her.
I'm a little nervous. I've never allowed an animal to actually eat my hand.
And
so they feel like velvet, honestly.
oh, I know.
I know.
These little rodents make great pets. We'll learn all about chinchillas in this week's Pet of the Week. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. As most of you know, I love dogs. I just can't get enough of these smart, loving, and compassionate animals. And when my husband and I dreamed up Dante's Den Foundation years ago, our goal was to provide a safe haven for dogs. Well, staff, volunteers, and the entire community is doing that and so much more for these magnificent animals every single day.
Sunny likes to go for walks. She loves attention, loves to be pet. You like the sunshine, don't you, girl? Sunny is probably one of the best behaved dogs. She doesn't bark, doesn't potty in her kennel. You're a good girl, huh? Yeah, good girl.
Sunny is very sunny. She is a happy dog, considering what her history was. She is a blue-nosed pit. She's very low-key, and because of that, she was used as a bait dog in the fights. And obviously, she didn't do well, and they just tore her up completely. So she ended up in a county animal shelter, very, very bad shape. And what was worse was she was sick. And one of the illnesses that she had was heartworm, which went undetected for 6 months, which is very, very bad for any dog. And then she had some other issues. There were skin issues that were probably caused by the dog fighting, and she had infections. So by the time we got Sunny, things were very bleak.
Sunny gets 2.
Sunny's nature, this good, pleasant, sweet dog, to be treated this way. This is what got me. She still makes me emotional. It doesn't have a mean bone in her body. And of course, she debunks the myth of what pits are completely. This is the typical pit that we see. Loving, sweet. She is protective of the people that do take care of her. She knows that everyone here at Dante's Den has her best interests in mind. She loves to play. She loves to occasionally swim. She loves her treats, and we've just watched her blossom.
I worked at animal control, so I've seen dogs that deserve a second chance that didn't get one, that left in black bags, mostly the pits. And then when I found out about Dante's and Dante's being a sanctuary and we save them all, who wouldn't want to? At least try to give them a better life. Each dog is just like a person. Each dog has its own temperament, its own personality. They like certain dogs, they don't like certain dogs. Each dog, some play with balls, some play with ropes. They're all different. I think Sunny is probably the happiest she's ever been.
Sunny embodies really what Dante's Den does. She came here, she was a total physical mess, and probably psychological also, because she had a lot of bouts of depression, and we would see it. But this is what Dante's Den does. We take a dog that's like that, and we work with them, and we make them feel safe, and we make them get happy, and we fix their physical wounds. And many times, the physical wounds are the easiest to fix, but it's the mental wounds, to get them to trust human beings again. And this takes time, a lot of time, and quite frankly, a lot of money, because we are a sanctuary. Sunny will never leave Dante's den. Why? Because she is a pit bull, so naturally she's got that moniker over her that people, oh, I don't want a pit bull. Well, I would, and I would definitely want Sunny in my family. But because of her history, she cannot be with another dog. So it has to go into one family that has no dogs. Can she be walking and be safe? Yes, she can be. But then again, we never know what's going to trigger what happened to her. Genetically, she was never a bad dog. Genetically, she was a very healthy dog. But it's very unfortunate. Humans take these dogs, make them what they shouldn't be, and if they're lucky, like Sunny, they get to come to Dante's den. I had one goal in mind. I wanted to take care of dogs. Dante's den is a sanctuary. We are not a rescue. It's not a revolving door of dogs that come in and dogs that go out. If dogs come here and they are not adoptable, they stay with us for the rest of their lives. People say, well, they need a home. They have a home. They have a very happy home. At any one time, they will have staff, and we number anywhere from 9 to 14 at any time, 24 hours a day, that are taking care of these dogs. And quite frankly, if you look at the dogs at Dante's Den, and all of us own dogs that are here, we spend more time with the dogs at Dante's Den than we do with our own dogs. They get everything that we have. But as you would imagine, it can be costly. And I've had many comments like, you're a not-for-profit. What could you possibly need? You're not supposed to make money. Well, you never make money. You're lucky if your balance sheet at the end of the year says you broke even. But let's look at what it takes to be a sanctuary. You must provide food, and we provide the best food. We do not provide generic food. We provide the best food. And we analyze each dog. Each dog has its own need, so the foods vary. Now there's the medical care. We have a full hospital, a full veterinary hospital. But let me tell you, that is very expensive, not only to keep up, because we have to pass many inspections and we have to keep a pharmacy, but also we have to be able to take care of the dogs medically. And any of us that own dogs know that the minute we walk into a veterinary office, we're looking at a special price, and it is not low. And if the dogs need surgery, your bills are anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 and in excess. So it does take money. We have to turn on the lights. But most of all, we have to pay staff. And it's special staff. It's staff that has compassion. It's staff that has had experience with dogs, handling dogs, knowing how to take sometimes the most difficult cases and making them absolutely wonderful to be with. So you ask, we have electricity, we have water, we have staff, we have a facility that we have to mow and landscape and do all of those types of things. What is the average cost today at Dante's Den for keeping a dog for its lifetime? Is $7,000 a year. And that is a very, very conservative level. So yes, we need support. We need help. And this is where we turn to the community, and we turn to people that are dog lovers just like we are, that give from their heart because they want to see a particular dog, or for that matter, all of our dogs, have a wonderful life. Dante's Den is a unique foundation. We take care of the dogs of the military under our Semper Paw program. We have our lifetime care program. We board for short and long-term periods. But most of all, Dante's Den is a sanctuary. So they can live out their lives here happily and peacefully. It truly is the best place to be a dog. To learn more about Dante's Den and the work that we do, log on to our website, dantesden.org.
Coming up next, find out why I'm sticking my hand in an aquarium for fish to gnaw on.
People have asked me what it'll cost to restore all the corals back to the way they remember. But I have to ask them, what will it cost if we don't do anything?
Science is everywhere and it's all around us. It's observing the world and forming questions and the willingness to find the answers. It's something our Inspector Planet does every day, and you can too.
My name is Dr. Tracy Fanara, research scientist and environmental engineer. At Mote Marine Laboratory, I use investigation and experimentation to answer questions.
A little dust.
You know what that is, don't you?
What?
That's, among other things, human skin shedding.
Human skin shedding? I've seen my snake shed at home, and that's a big piece of snake skin.
Well, humans don't quite shed like that, but we do constantly shed our skin, and there's a way that I can use biology to prove that that's true.
We'll see.
Our body has about 1 trillion skin cells, and as new skin starts to push its way to the surface, the old skin falls off. We drop about 30,000 dead skin cells every hour. So some of that thin layer of dust you see around your house is actually tiny pieces of you. Gross, huh? But there's an animal that actually likes to eat dead skin and parasites from the bodies of other creatures. Amanda, these neon gobies are absolutely so cool looking. What is the coolest thing that you know about these neon gobies?
I think the coolest thing about them is that they're actually cleaner fish. So they often have these symbiotic relationships with other fish.
So they have symbiotic relationships with other fish. How do they benefit and how do the other species benefit?
Sure. So neon gobies, they're getting a meal, so they're getting the dead skin cells and what have you, and then the other fish is getting kind of like a spa treatment actually. So these dead skin cells are being removed and the little leftover bits of food that they may have stuck on their body, so they're getting cleaner and they're getting healthier.
That is so cool, the spa of the sea. Mm-hmm. I've seen those videos of people getting pedicures with different animals in there. Mm-hmm. Are they neon gobies or are there other animals that can eat the dead skin as well?
They're not neon gobies, but they are very similar. So they have a couple of different kinds of cleaner fish that are very similar to neon gobies that effectively do the same thing.
I was trying to tell my friend Stephanie that we shed our skin, and she is very hesitant to believe that statement. She has a snake, she sees what skin looks like when it leaves an animal. Mm-hmm. Now, is there a way that we can use these neon gobies to prove that we have skin coming off our hands at any given moment?
You know, I think there is a way that we can do that. Because I think if you put your hands in, then they'll probably start to clean you.
Let's do it. I got one. He's so cute. It's like a butterfly kiss. The little guys like me. Do you have them in other exhibits?
We do. So we've actually added them to several other exhibits at Mote, and it's really, really cool because neon gobies are really important for healthy coral reefs. Mm-hmm. So we've seen them do this service on fish in our other exhibits. One of the coolest ones I've seen is in our shark exhibit. So it's about 130,000 gallons. And we have some large bony fish in there as well, including a Goliath grouper. And I see gobies on him all the time.
Aww.
And they're cleaning him and he's just loving it.
That's awesome. Symbiotic relationships happen everywhere. And it's incredible to see these relationships at work. Remember guys, anyone could be a scientist or an engineer with some passion, hard work, and an innate curiosity of how the world works.
Coming up next on Animal Outtakes, hop on board as we're exploring an extremely unique ecosystem and discovering the animals that live there. Estuaries play an important role in the health of our environment overall, and there are a lot of animals that are essential to the well-being of this unique and often overlooked ecosystem.
As a biologist for Sarasota Bay Explorers, our job is to narrate the experience and make it fun for people so that they can learn and they're interested in learning the health of the bay and the animals in it. And the goal for us is to make it meaningful enough to them to where they're inspired to take more action in helping their environment, helping our environment. We really try to bring people to a different level of consciousness so that we're making a difference in the world. 1, 2, 3. We actually threw a trawl net out into the water and we caught some animals. We are permitted to do this, so we have permission to use this type of net and to collect these animals. I see some fish. We do release them at the end of the day. So no grouper sandwiches, no crab cakes for anybody. This is a different crab species that we caught on the boat today. It is called an arrow crab. They move pretty quickly, but I might be able to hold it for just a moment. Whoop! They look very much like spiders. That is the arrow crab. And arrow crabs are pretty funny. They're called an arrow crab because those legs that we saw, they totally surround the body. We've got the head in the middle that towers upward and an eye on each side. The legs that totally surround the body can actually collapse above the body. That way, if they need to get down deep into the water quickly, they'll fold those legs up and they can shoot just like an arrow. They also have little feathery structures all over those legs. So if they want to stay still in the water, that surface area of the feathery texture helps them to keep control of how they move in the water. And arrow crabs are very camouflaged, so it is very hard to find them, but we do a pretty good job when they're hiding in the algae and the seagrass. These are the arrow crabs. Today on our cruise, we also found a spider crab, and this one is really big. Spider crabs do look a lot like spiders, but usually they're harmless. Pretty much a fully grown spider crab. And one of the coolest things about spider crabs is that they are known to snip and clip algae with those tiny little claws, and using their own mucus, they will take the algae and glue it to themselves. And it helps to make them more camouflaged with their environment, helps them to look bigger. And this is especially important when this crab is really, really small so that it won't get eaten by predators before it even becomes an adult. This is the spider crab. Check it out. Put you back in here. And most of the time, crabs molt. And molting is the process of shedding their exoskeleton, or that shell, also known as a carapace. So they'll shed that exoskeleton and they'll have a new one forming underneath it. Before a crab hardens that new shell, they're called a soft shell crab. So if you've ever eaten soft shell crab, that's not a particular species of crab. That's really any crab that's recently molted and its new shell hasn't hardened yet. Sometimes that process can take up to 4 days. Along with all the animals and plants that you might find in your backyard, you might also find trash. Trash, like plastics, are often found where wildlife live, and they can mistake it for the things that they normally eat. So Take 3 for the Sea is a worldwide hashtag going around so that we can help save these animals and prevent them from eating it on accident. Take 3 for the Sea means picking up 3 pieces of trash on a daily basis. And working as a team, we can help clean up our environment and prevent these animals from getting hurt because of our mistakes with our trash. That's Take 3 for the Sea. Take 3 for the Sea. Take 3 for the Sea.
Stay with us. There's much more animal outtakes coming up next. Every dog deserves a lifelong, loving home. Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. We ensure every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Prospective pet parents undergo a thorough adoption review to ensure a lifetime of love and care. Find your new furry best friend at Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call us at 941-219-3730. Dante's Den, continuing the love.
Over 90% of the seafood that is coming in to this country is raised in areas of the world that don't have the highest standards. And so our approaches are aimed for 2 things. One is to help feed the world. The second is to do it in an environmentally friendly and sustainable way.
These might just be considered some of the cutest rodents ever. Chinchillas are native to the Andes Mountains in South America. They're related to guinea pigs and porcupines and have some of the highest fur density of any land animal.
So they feel like velvet, honestly.
Oh, I know. I know.
But to me, they look like a mix between a rat and a gerbil, like a really big gerbil. But you kind of look like a bunny somewhat. You're stinking cute.
Chinchillas were hunted to near extinction in the wild because of their soft fur. But regulations and bans have allowed the species to survive in the wild. You can find domestic chinchillas in your local pet store, and they can make good pets.
So these are the chinchillas. So they eat about 75% hay and then a pelleted diet. And then treats and greens is about 5%. They are a very excellent pet. They can be a little jumpy at first, but once they get used to you and everything and being held, they honestly will bond with you and just kind of sit with you and cuddle. They like really big, tall cages just because they do love levels, because they'll climb, jump, everything like that. They do take a dust bath. They can't have an actual bath because the oils from on their skin, they can't have any oils. So the dust bath actually helps eliminate those. But if you put water on them, it kind of secretes the oils and then it can harm them.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
She's a little obsessed now that she knows what dust is. Dead skin everywhere.